This is the Nati's Finest Fantasy Football Week 3 report. As you know, I'm the commissioner reporting to you live from, you guessed it, Nati's Finest Studios. We're currently about 18 hours until game time Sunday, Week 3. It's going to be an exciting week this week. A lot of teams are looking for their first win. Some teams are looking for their second win, getting on a win streak. And we have some of those teams also looking to stay undefeated, stay on the winning streak. This week, I'd like to bring something new to you guys, being the commissioner. It's called, ironically, the commissioner's question. The commissioner's question for this week is directed to all league managers. Basically, how is your team dealing with all the injuries? As you know, this year is a different year from most fantasy and NFL years. A lot of the league is getting hit with the injury bug. I just want to read down a list of key names, key players that are either questionable on the IR or are doubtful just for this week. Starting with probably the most prolific one on that list, Michael Vick. He's questionable. Heard he's playing, but still he is under the questionable tag, and he's on my list. Tony Romo, number 2. Miles Austin, basically the whole Dallas offense is on there. Beanie Wells is questionable this week. Peyton Hillis, Steven Jackson, Felix Jones, Mario Manningham, Jamal Charles on the IR, as you know from last week. Des Bryant, Marquise Colston, Antonio Gates, new questionable. Malcolm Floyd, Arian Foster still battling that hamstring, is questionable. Noshawn Moreno's out. Braylon Edwards is questionable. Roy Williams is questionable. With all these players being questionable, my question to you, league managers, how is your team dealing with the injury bug? Has it hit you? Are you trying to stay away from it? Are you picking up a lot of free agent backups? Next week, we'll have some of those answers. As you can see, I do not have a co-host this week, but next week, hopefully I can get someone in the studios and deliver some answers, from the league out to you guys in fantasy football world. Now let's get into the week 2 recap. We had a lot of good games last week. As I said, it was an exciting week. Starting off with the GOW, my game of the week between the Wildcats and Pimpin' Ain't Breezy. Both were on the undefeated trail last week, 1-0 starting off the season. However, the Wildcats were able to get the victory with good effort from, Matthew Stafford, LaShawn McCoy, and Rob Gronkowski, all putting up 20-plus points. The ending score was 156-123. Pimpin' Ain't Breezy had Drew Brees had a good week, but had Plexico in there with 0 points. You just need more from a wide receiver. I know you lost by 30, but still maybe looking at another option down the road. Next game between America's team and them boys, close game, really close game. America's team was able to get their first victory of the year. I might as well call him Team Brady because Tom just keeps putting up 40-plus point efforts. Fred Jackson had 30, I think. And Tony Gonzalez, a big effort on Sunday night, grabbing 2 touchdowns. We're able to overcome them boys and, most of their injuries. I know Felix, Romo, Deshaun Jackson, and Mario Manningham all did not finish the game. Well, I know Romo did, but Felix and Deshaun and Mario Manningham didn't finish the game for them. So it seems like the injury bug did hit them pretty hard. Next game, if you're not first, you're last versus EA Sports. And now, if you're not first, your last was able to pull a victory out in this game, 139-94, beating the depleted EA Sports. No one on the team even put up 20-plus. Rather, as you had Phillip Rivers and Michael Turner putting up 20 and a little bit over 20 for Phillip Rivers. We'll advance that between franchise and, the backups. This was a great game. As you know, we had the league manager of the backups on last week who had a few choice words for franchise out there. And, he just didn't bring it this week. Vic did get hurt and was not able to finish the game. However, franchise was able to win by 22 points, 141-118, behind great efforts from Darren McFadden, Aaron Rodgers, and Larry Fitzgerald, the big 3 there. Great effort. He is now 2-0. As I said, they have a balanced team. Maybe someone you want to watch for down the road. Gully versus You Got Mossed. Miles Austin, 3 touchdowns, over 100 yards, one with a backup quarterback. Great effort by him. You Got Moss just put up 86 points. That's not enough. As I said, you need 100 points at least to win in this league. You're now 0-2. Pick up slack. Last game of the week, of week 2, was the Rook versus the whole effing show. Now, the Rook has had a hard start to this season. It's his rookie season. He didn't get the win last week. He lost to the whole effing show, 138 to 106. Excuse me. It was a good effort by you guys. However, it was just too much by Vincent Jackson and the whole effing show. They are starting off 2-0 for the season. Good for you guys. Next, that basically wraps up all the games last week. I do want to get into the weekly prize awarded to Team Gully. Miles Austin, 46 points. As I said, 3 touchdowns. You have the weekly prize this week. Yes, sir. We'll pause for a moment, congratulate Gully, show you some footage from him, and we'll be back.
Your life! First you gotta do the truffle shuffle. Come on! Do it! Come on! Do it! Put it out, Mo.
Okay. And now, I'd like to get into the power rankings. The power rankings will be brought to you by our studio, the Natty's Finest. Thank you very much. Week 3 power rankings brought to you by Natty's Finest Studios. 1, Wildcats. Followed by Franchise. Oh no, Backups. The whole effing show. If you're not first, you're last. America's Team. Pimpin' ain't breezy. Gully Gully. Them boys. The Rook. EA Sports. You just got mossed. Okay, and we'll be right back with this week's matchups. My game of the week after a quick word from our sponsor.
Chris Johnson?
Yeah, that's me.
Leave those right there for you.
Thanks, Tom. See you next week. Hold on.
Now you want to run.
Man, no touchdowns?
What you mean? We still won.
I didn't.
ESPN Fantasy Football. Sign up for free at ESPN.com.
And we're back. Let's get into the Week 3's matchups, starting off with my game of the week. Between America's Team and Pimpin' Ain't Breezy. Now I've got America's Team beating Pimpin' Ain't Breezy, starting off the season 2-1. I just think Tom Brady, Team Tom Brady, aka America's Team, is just going to be too much for him this week. Next game, them boys will lose their second straight to If You're Not First, You're Last. Game 3, Wildcats will stay undefeated. EA Sports stay defeated, unfortunately. Franchise, same deal. They're going to stay undefeated this week, and you got Moss. You will stay on the 0-2, 0-3 track, whatever you guys are right now after this week. The Rook, I think you're going to get your first win this week. Team Gully Gully, unfortunately, it's going to come at your expense. You're taking the L this week. And oh no, Backups will be giving the whole effing show their first loss. You heard it here from Natty's Finest Studios. My matchups, my hot picks. Before we go, I'd like to take a call from the Natty's Finest hotline. Go ahead, caller. You're live with the commish.
Hey, commish. This is Daredevil from Staten Island. Thanks for taking my call. I'm a longtime fan of your show. Been listening, keeping a tab on everyone's drafts, seeing how everyone's doing. But I've been following this guy on your squad in your league, Wildcat. I was a Wildcat like that back in the day myself. So how is his team doing so well, taking Reggie Wayne and Peyton Manning second and third so early? Thanks again.
Hey, caller. Do appreciate the call. So the question is basically directed towards the Wildcats and, how they're prevailing this year with the players they picked in the draft and, why are they 2-0 at this point? I think it's a great question. I'd have to start with some of the players they picked up. You know, Stafford, great addition. I think they got him in the 7th round, even though the Wildcats drafted Peyton Manning in the 2nd or 3rd round. They were able to get a quality quarterback late, and he's in the top 5 for quarterbacks this year. Sorry. McCoy, 1st overall pick. He's the #1 running back in the league right now, just putting up big numbers. And I think a surprise right here is Steve Smith, the #2 wide receiver overall. Cam Newton is out there just throwing bombs to him, and he's looking like Steve Smith from old 3 or 4 years ago, scoring 2-3 touchdowns a game, putting up 100 yards. He's also got Rob Gronkowski, superstar tight end for the New England Patriots, Tom Brady's red zone weapon. He's the #1 tight end in the league. And on the bench, just so you guys know, he's got Cam Newton. So really, he wasted his 2nd round pick in Peyton Manning, picked a quarterback up in the 7th round, and has another starting quarterback on his bench. Just letting you know that's how he's been progressing and staying undefeated. We'll see what he does this week. As I said, I've had him starting off the season 3-0, and see how it goes. Thanks a lot, caller. We'll take calls next week. This is the Commish signing off. Good luck to everybody in Week 3 fantasy football season.